Hello, work life warriors. I hope you're doing well. So, 2024 is almost over. Can you believe it? This year went past so quickly and so slowly at the same time. It was like a bittersweet year for me. Please share with me in the chat. How was your year? Did it go past quickly? Was it slow for you? Was it a good year? Was it a bad year? Did you grow and develop this year? We know you worked so very hard, but did you get your reap for what you've sown this year? Well, what we can do is prepare for our reap next year by making sure that we are reflecting, setting goals, objectives, things that we want to accomplish. And what I'm going to do is every day or every evening this week, I am going to give you a new practice to help develop what you want your new year to look like. A new year, a new you, how you want to feel next year, how you want to show up, the things you want to accomplish. And so I want to use some of the practices that I've been using for years. I want to give them to you, show you how to utilize them, to use them in your best interest so that you know how to maneuver throughout your days, right? And so we are taught a lot. We are actually taught how to be professionals more than anything in the world, but we're not taught how to be human. We're not taught how to learn about ourselves, how to like and love ourselves, how to identify our emotions, to know when we're triggered, all the important internal work. We weren't really taught, right? We value a lot of extrinsic things when we really need to pull more of the focus back into our intrinsic values. And so I am going to offer 7 different practices, at least 6. I don't know if the seventh would translate well, but at least 6 different processes I am going to offer every day this week because I think it is so very important for us to prepare for our harvest, right? We work very hard. We should expect good things. We should be working towards good things, and we should enjoy our journey every single day. And so that's what this is about. The next 7 days, I also this will be the portion virtual, right? I also have all of these events coming up in person that you could purchase tickets for in Raleigh, but I want to make sure that I am giving these practices to everyone, right? Extending them, making sure that people know what they can do to improve the overall quality of their life. And so I'm going to start the first practice with a VI Character Institute survey. And so this was back in 2019. I've always kind of taken tests to understand more about myself, my personality, who I am, how I show up in the world. So I've been doing that since high school. So every year around like August, September, I take tests to kind of understand how I've grown, what my focus is on in this year or in this moment, who I'm becoming, my strengths, my weaknesses, because I do realize that I tend to grow and develop, which we should all do, right? That is what we want to do. We should not want to stay the same unless things are 100% where you want to be and you are who you want to be. You should always be open for change. And even if things are perfect, this does not mean that they cannot get better, right? So we should always be open to change and grow. Living is a change and growing experience, right? Everything is always changing and growing, expanding. And so if we want to be aligned with source, with whatever we believe in, we have to grow and develop too. And one of the things that we could do that is by understanding ourselves. We have to first start with understanding ourselves so that we have a baseline and we can kind of always compare it to who we used to be as we continue to grow. And so I've been journaling my whole life. That's really what I've been using my journal for, is because I can go back to different parts of my life and see I've grown. But also I wanted to learn more about myself. They say, self-knowledge is the highest form of knowledge. And so I wanted to start diving more into who am I? Who am I in this world? What gifts do I have? How can I use them to contribute my best self to the world to help elevate this human experience? Because living is a shared experience. I did not want to be a part of the problem. I wanted to be a part of the solution. And I have like talents and gifts and abilities that I thought would be beneficial to share, right? Why keep them to yourself if it can help the human family? And so I wanted to uncover these things about me. And so I stumbled across the VIA Character the VIA Institute, I think it's called Strength Finder or Character Finder. And we'll see in a moment. I'm going to pull it up. And so in 2019, I took the test. And the place that I was at in the moment, they gave us like this little shield for us to be able to write down our top three strengths and keep it around us as a reminder. So it's like a vision board of your strengths so that you always remember who you are, what your greatest strengths are, so you can lean into them, especially during times of difficulties, right? We forget what skills we have. We focus on the challenges at hand, and we forget that we are already equipped with everything that we need to solve any given problem. And so many times I would forget what my strengths are or just not know and how I can use those strengths to improve any given situation. And so I thought it would be a wonderful opportunity just to kind of know myself better. And so I took the survey. And it was very eye awakening. I had never seen myself in that way before, but in seeing myself in that way, I was able to set values and making sure that I practice integrity to my values, right? So it was a matter of being honest with the questions, seeing what it say, and then reflecting on how these qualities or these strengths showed in my life or throughout my life or even in the present moment, right? And so every year at around August or September since 2019, I take this test just to kind of gauge where I am, how I'm developing, and making sure that I'm aware of what my greatest strengths are so I can utilize them and tap into them. So I am going to show you. I am going to show you what my character strengths are. Let me go ahead and put it in. Let's do it like this. Oh, maybe not like that. That's not good. Okay, hold on. Can you see it? Okay, it is very weird how it's showing up. Okay, let's do it like that. No. Okay, can y'all see it? Let's do it. I hope you can see it. It doesn't look that big. Okay. But anyway, so I have them right here actually, if you can't see them. So the first year I took them, I took the test and it came back and it showed that my top skills, I don't know if you can see them, curiosity, creativity, no, curiosity, gratitude, and creativity. And this was in 2019, 2020. So back when I first started this, my greatest skills were, or my top skill was curiosity, and then gratitude and creativity. And in the moment, I would say that it was actually quite accurate because I had, in that moment, I was creating so many different things for my businesses. I was creating programs and games, and at that point I've written like two books around that time. I was really in a creativity mode. I was always taking on new information. I was curious about the world around me, so I was taking on new information, learning about who I am, the people, the environments that I was in, how stress was impacting them. And then I was taking that information and changing it, transforming it into creative assignments, games, events, programs that I thought would be beneficial to the people around me, the companies that I was serving, the community that I was in. And so I was really in a creative curiosity bag. It was between the two. It was like I would learn something new, I would process it, I would connect it to something else, and then I would create some sort of exercise from it or event. And it was really a great time for me. I spent a lot of time in gratitude because I did not realize how creative I was, right? I was told, just like many people, that I wasn't necessarily creative. And so many times I just kind of thought that I wasn't creative, basically. I thought that maybe um, I was just a regular, I guess. I spent more time in logic than creativity, right? And I realized that that wasn't necessarily true, that I was more creative than I thought I was. I had always thought that I was more of a left brain and realized that I was more creative than I thought, really kind of shift how I showed up in the world. And then it moved to the next year. I don't know if you can see it, but honesty, gratitude, honesty, creativity, and gratitude. So this was in August 2021, 22. So as you can see, creativity kind of jumped from number 3 to number 2. They kind of switched, gratitude and creativity switched, because I was so just like excited with myself that I was a creative being in the corporate world, that I leaned more into my creativity, and I became more honest in who I am, right? Instead of being in the corporate world, being who they wanted me to be or what they thought that I should be, it was an opportunity for me to show up as I really am, which was a creative being, which creativity in the workplace is not really, you know, accepted, is not really frowned upon. You don't really utilize it, right? And so it was in the moments of me being creative in my own space that helped me lean in towards these things, that helped me feel more like myself. And so then honesty became one of my top strengths, because I was more in aligned with who I really am, as opposed to who people kept saying that I was, right? And so I absolutely loved the switch that was happening within me, and it helped me to be more authentic and lean into who I am as a creator, as a person, as a being. And so I really enjoyed, comparing last year goals to, or last year's strengths and character to this year or the following year. And so as you can see, honesty became one of my top qualities. And honesty is just really just showing up, and not truth, but honesty. So just showing up in a genuine way, being authentic, representing yourself the way you really are, and not trying to change the narrative to fit. And so I really enjoyed the opportunity to be who I was, regardless of what other people around me thought that I should be or how I should show up as. And that's still in life. As a doctor, as a corporate professional, consultant, many people think that I should look a certain way, act a certain way, behave a certain way. They have an expectation on how I should be, but I am a creative person and I still get the job done. Being a creative person, there isn't one way of being. There's many ways of being. You just have to find the way that works for you. So then the next year, honesty, gratitude, fairness. And this was in 2021, 2022. This is like right after COVID, where so many things had changed. We could see in society that a lot of things were unfair. A lot of circumstances were unfair. I was going through a lot that made me angry about what was going on in this world, about people, working their entire life, 30, 40 years, giving all their time, energy, and then at the end of their life being mistreated, barely being able to have what they need to, be honored and celebrated at the end of their life. And so I felt very called and motivated to do something about it. And so fairness entered, creativity went out of the window, but honesty, you see, I still was accepting my who I am authentically, but also I wanted to give thanks to who I am by honoring the people who paved the way for me to be here, our ancestors, the workforce before that paved the way for us to be able to contribute out some much needed value into the world. And I thought that they should be treated better. And so I kind of switched a little bit and didn't necessarily focus on creativity as much as I did before, due to, seeing the attack on our elders from COVID. Like they didn't really have a lot of protection. We lost so much of our wisdom from our elders because of the pandemic. And so it was a very interesting time, and I am so grateful that I got to document how it influenced me. And then, so the next year was 2022 to 2023. And as you can see, honesty is still my top quality, right? And then it went to spirituality and creativity. And so, again, in order for me to solve the problems that I was experiencing in the world, for me to create more fairness, or for me to feel like I was adding much needed value and contributing something in the world, I realized that I had to take the burden off myself and give it to something that I believe bigger than myself, and make sure that I'm being obedient every single day. To follow what I'm supposed to do, to be in alignment, to ask for divine intervention, to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to add some much needed value into the world and being in alignment. And so I developed more spirituality. I spent more time praying and asking for guidance and trying to move in divine purpose and spiritual alignment, because I thought it was very important to solve the stresses of this world, to help make sure that everyone is living in a win-win situation and that people are not suffering. And so I had to get back, creative, to help figure out, how can I solve this? How can I help solve the problems that we are experiencing right now in the world? And how can I give it to something bigger, so that I'm in an alignment, that I'm in the right place, right time, in the moment, doing what I need to do to make sure that things are changing. And so then that leads us to this year. I did the test this year, but I did not have the opportunity to put it on paper yet. And so I try to always remain grateful for the things that that's happening in my life and for my life. I don't think that things are happening to me. I tend to think that things are happening for me. And I like to keep a positive attitude even when things are not working out in my favor. And so, as I mentioned, I know you can hear the airplane. As I mentioned, I think knowing what my top character strengths are really helps shape and guide me and move me throughout different scenarios, different aspects, help me to lean into what my strengths are and utilize them in any given situation. The VIA Institute Character Strength Test is absolutely free. You just go onto Google and you sign up. They just ask for an email, and then you answer. I think it's like 100 questions, and it's quick. Simple questions. They ask about 100 questions. You answer them, and then they give you your top 10 qualities. So I've just been sharing with you my top three: honesty, creativity, gratitude. They always stay in my top five. Well, they may not be my top three. Creativity and gratitude, they kind of shift between. They always been in my top five. And so just knowing your top five strengths, your top 10 strengths, also knowing what your weaknesses are, you begin to fortify them. My weaknesses always change, because one year, whatever my weaknesses are, my top bottom weaknesses, I work on them. And then the next year, they're not my weaknesses anymore, right? New ones come up. And so it's always a process of refining, of understanding yourself, of doing the work to understand yourself, because the reward is just so juicy. I promise, like there isn't even a word to help you understand what it feels like when you do the work, when you understand yourself, when you know how you're moving through this world. It gives you so much self-esteem, so much confidence. You move with purpose, and you know who you are, so people cannot tell you anything about yourself. They can say what they want, but you know who you are, and so you don't feed in, and you don't give it the attention. You stay on path, you stay locked into what you believe in, and you stay in alignment. And that's the best part of knowing who you are, what your strengths are, and working to fortify yourself. So please share with me below. Have you done the VIA character strength survey? I would love to know what your top three strengths are. What do you think your top three strengths are? Will you do the test and will you share afterwards? I would love to know. And I would love to know, in knowing these things, how have they served you? How have they shifted your life? Do they make you more confident? Have you been taking tests before? Like I said, I've been taking them since high school, but this is one that I take every single year now, just to kind of gauge where I am. So, as always, work life warriors, please get out there, manage your stress, do the best that you can to get the information that you need to improve the quality of your life. You have one life, you deserve a quality life. We are not being taught what we need to know. So it's in your best interest to spend your free time learning how to improve the overall quality of your life, to add the playful, fun, joy, laughter. It's worth waking up in the morning, having that quiet time, me time, connecting with whatever you believe in so that you are divinely guided throughout the day. And your best strength is knowing the vessel in which you work, and you are the vessel in which you experience life. And so know who you are, know what your strengths and weaknesses are, know what you can contribute and bring to this world, and be proud of it. You deserve a quality life. Your worth is in your birth. Don't you ever forget it. And I will see you tomorrow for Fun Funny Fridays. And I think tomorrow's topic is I am affirmations. So we'll be talking about affirmations, and I'll be sharing some of the affirmations that I've collected over the last 15 years that have truly helped me to walk into who I'm destined to be and follow my goals and dreams and be proud of who I am. So I hope you are awesome. Just in case people haven't told you recently, you rock, you rule, and you are perfect the way you are. You can be better. We all can be better, right? But it doesn't mean that we're not perfect. Perfect can expand. And that's really what we want to be. We want to accept where we are now and be open to grow and to change and to develop and to be more of the perfectness that is us, if I can make up a word. So thank you so much, Work Life Warriors. I will see you tomorrow. If not, I'm always on these industries. Feel free to send me a message, drop down in the comments, let me know what your thoughts are, and I will see you.